Hello, Flosstube. Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches here. It is my Flosstube update number 335. Today is Saturday, May 25th, almost the end of the month. There are a few more days of the month left. And for those of you who may come across this for the first time, this is a channel about cross stitch. For those of you who are returning viewers, welcome back. Thank you very much. For first-time viewers, welcome. If you want to see more of this, the videos on this channel, you can hit subscribe and hit the little notification bell, and that'll let you know every time I do an update, which is usually every Saturday, sometimes Saturday, sometimes usually mornings, but you know, whatever. So this time I think I have a lot to talk about, although not as much, still not as much stitching, but a lot of plans and things. So go ahead and get started. So for this month, of course, as I had said before, there were 3 WIPGO calls for this month because the 13th space was called, and for some that's a free space. So Jessie Marie usually does, whenever that 13 is called, she'll do 2 other additional numbers because some people have it as a free space. Unfortunately, for my stitching list, I don't have it as a free space. I have a chart there. So that means I had 3 things to work on for this month. So for May, they were number 5, which was Rabbit, Rabbit May, which I showed before. I haven't done any more on that. And the Bunny in My Garden, which I'll show in a minute. And then number 13, which was Come Thou Fount, which is a design of mine that I redesigned. I did it several years ago, and I redesigned it to start over, basically. And then my secondary whip for number 13 was Starry Night, the Prairie Schooler Starry Night, which I have not yet started. That'll be this coming week. And then number 19 was the third number. And that was Sleepy Hollow was the secondary one. I showed that last week. I haven't done any more on that. And the Jackrabbit, I showed that last week also. So this week has been all about Come Thou Fount and the Bunny in My Garden. So last Saturday was technically the 7th day for Rabbit in My Garden. This is a Jardin Prive chart. The designer is Nathalie Cichon, C-I-C-H-O-N. And it's, like I said, it's a sort of a terrarium kind of looking thing with it. Looked like a snow globe, but without no snow. It's a spring chart with a little base there. So, so while Saturday was technically my 7th day, I went ahead and stitched on it on Sunday and again a little bit on Monday so that I could get it to the point that it's at now. So all that's lacking is the base. So I finished the little actual garden scene. So when I started this at the beginning of May, I had just this little part of the branch done. So all this past week, I've added the rest of the tree, and there's some butterflies, and a dragonfly, and a snail, and a ladybug, and a bird, and some flowers, and this big bunny. So all that's left is the base of this globe, and it's like brown in this color, but if there's some negative space, there's a little floral pattern here that's all negative unstitched space. So all that's left is this base, but it's kind of a lot of stitching. So I may or may not, get it done by the end of the month, but the globe part itself is done. And I really like it. So I did use Etoile for the butterflies. I just chose 2 colors that were, the chart has them actually, if you look at the chart, they're both this yellow color, the lighter yellow color here. But on this picture, you can tell that that they used a darker, like gold color, whatever, for this other butterfly. And in the instructions, it says if you want to make it like this picture, you can use this other DMC number. But when I was doing that, I decided instead to do Etoile, and I just chose. There wasn't a direct equivalent for them, so I just chose 2 colors that looked good. This yellow color, and you can kind of see the sparkle, not really, but I did the 2 butterflies with Etoile, and then I did this dragonfly. I did his little wings with Etoile, and I used the back. It says to use 1 thread for the back stitching, but I used 2. I think it shows up a little better. And yeah, so I used 2 for the dragonfly's wings as well. I think it just, especially with the toile, I don't know, it looks better. So, and the big bunny, and I almost forgot to do his nose. I discovered it when I was stitching the little green fronds. There's one little mistake somewhere in here. I think one of these rows, when I originally started it, I put 1 too many stitches in there, but it didn't affect the overall placement of the design. So yeah, I'm very happy with that, and I enjoyed it. Once I was almost finished, I just went ahead and finished this brown part. So like I said, the only part that's left to go to finish it is that base, and I don't know if I'll do that in the next few days or not, or whatever. So I don't know. It depends. I don't. My things are threatening to do a crapalanche on me here. Okay, let's just try to not knock everything down. So my number 13 that I've been working on is this Come Thou Fount. And as I said before, this is the design I did in, I think, 2018. I took it to Stitch Shenanigans, which was the spring of 2019. So I think I designed it and finished and stitched it in 2018. But I had used, as I said before, I had used an alphabet that I had just got from another design that I had worked on. So the alphabet was, of course, somebody else's alphabet, and I wasn't happy with the water and stuff that I had used on the original design. And so anyway, when I redid it, I redid the water design and a few other things. But so anyway, this is the design, and it's pretty long. I don't remember what the stitch count is, but it's it's pretty good sized. Anyway, so in this redesign, I had worked on it just briefly. I think I worked on it as part of a Mania thing or something. So I started in this corner here. So I just had about up to here, just that much done when I picked it up. And I was supposed to start it on Sunday, and I don't have the threads handy here, but so I was looking at the thread list over here, because when I went to open the project bag, I had taken all the threads out. I went through a sort of phase, I don't know, couple of years ago, where I just took all the threads out of all my project bags, and and then yeah, so so there was nothing in there. So I was going through all of my threads and stuff, and pulling all the threads that I would need, and on here, the blue that I used is 820. And I knew I had used it a lot in this design, this blue, and it's this blue color of the water and the fountain, and most of the words are in that same blue. The words to "Come Thou Fount" are in a red color, and down here at the bottom, "Prone to wander now, prone to wander, Lord, I feel it. Prone to leave the God I love" is in a different color, but everything else is in that blue 820, all the other words. So for whatever reason, I don't know if it's in another pattern somewhere, but I couldn't find it. I couldn't put my hands on it. And I even looked in my thread keeper thing, thread stash. It has a thread stash has a feature in there where you can it's called a thread tracker, I think. So you can look, and any project that you've listed the threads for, it'll tell you, oh, if you say, okay, I'm looking for, this thread, and then it'll show you all the projects that have it listed. But it wasn't even on the list. So I must have had it in some project where I didn't put the threads in, and so it wasn't listed. So I don't know where it is, where it was, where it is, I should say. I don't know. It's in some project that I didn't enter in Threadkeeper. I didn't put threads in it or whatever. Thread stash. Anyway, so I thought, forget it. I looked high and low, and I couldn't find it, couldn't remember where I had it, whatever. So I thought, I'll just go buy it. Just, a few skeins of thread, whatever. And I thought, I should get probably 2 just because. And so I had to go to Walmart anyway to pick up a prescription or whatever. And so on the off chance, because Walmart has a very, very, very truncated area for any kind of cross stitch supplies. They have scissors, Ada, a few hoops, and a very small section of threads, and just random, the most common threads, I guess, black and white, and I don't know, a few other colors. But on the off chance that it was there, I just went and looked, and sure enough, there were like 3 skeins of this 820 color. So I bought all 3 of them because I thought, what the heck. So I got those, and I got home, and I guess Sunday, I must have gotten to get them on Monday, yeah. And so I got home, and I pulled this out, and I looked more closely at it, and this water is done in étoile. And when I looked at when I was looking for the thread, there was a little bobbin of étoile, and I thought, well, I don't need that. I need a regular 820. I don't need because the étoile is like C820. And I thought, well, that's nice. It's in the other color, but it's not 820 that I need, the regular 820. But when I pulled it out, it's actually the étoile. When I looked more closely, I was like, yeah, that's étoile. So I did all the water in 820 étoile. But this fountain I did in regular 820, and the words I did in 820. So I added, everything you see here, except, like I said, when I started, it was just this one line of the water. And so I added the fountain and the base, and I did this, like I said, in regular 820. And then you can see a little bit of you can kind of tell the difference. It's hard on screen, the different color for the words "Come Thou Fount," and then everything else is in the regular 820. And then there's a little heart there, and a little heart here, and one angel, and there's another angel on the other side here that I haven't done yet. Because I talked last week, I think it was last week, about the dilemma about making the A's look like A's and not like D's. So here's an A. I did add the little serif on the end so that the A's look like A's and not like D's. But that meant that wherever I added them, it shifted the stitching over like, you know, 2 squares or something, you know, for this line, because there's 2 A's. And this line, there's, I guess, 1 A, I think. And so it shifted it over 1. So, but it's not enough of a difference to, like, skew it off and make it weird. Because when I charted these, I kind of, you know, tried to center the words and stuff. And so I was afraid that if I added the little serifs, the little tails on those A's, that it might mess it up, but it doesn't. I shifted them over a little bit so that, you know, just to make sure that everything fit well and looks good. This section with the notes, I thought I was going to be real clever. Whenever I backstitch, I do a combination of backstitching and straight stitching, because I don't like the way words look when they're segmented. You know, when you do 1 square, like for this T, for instance, it's a long stitch basically, so that instead of doing like one square, 1 square, 1 square, it's the whole, you know, all, I don't know what, 4 squares or whatever, as a long stitch. And the same thing like with these, you know, all of these longer, bigger letters. So it's a combination of long stitch and back stitch, technically, right? But so when I got down to putting this music staff in, I thought, well, I'll be real clever and just do like long stitches for the staff, you know, right? So I did like 5 stitches at a time to do the long stitches. But then when I was putting in the black notes on top, it was, you know, skewing the thread, you know, wherever those long stitches were, because the black has to go on top basically. And so I had gotten to about here, and I didn't like the way it looked, so I pulled it all out, and I pulled the black out up until right here on this little tail, because this little tail part is below the staff, so it doesn't interfere with it. But I just stitched all of the staff over again. It's like, you can see it here, it's like one stitch at a time, except for the vertical bar lines. I did like two stitches at a time. But then when I stitched the black notes on top and everything, it, you know, it looks good. It doesn't skew the gray of the staff lines. So yeah, so it took me a little while to redo that, but yeah, so I did do so you can see I did long stitches for the angel's wings and for the back stitching here. And so it's all back stitched with 2 threads instead of 1. It gives it a little more substantial look to it. And so there's another angel that goes over here, and there's another motif that goes here. And then, so I'm hoping, because since I got started on Monday, technically the 7th day is this coming Sunday. So I'm hoping that by then I can do the other angel and this other motif, and then maybe finish the water across the top, and do the whole first verse basically. We'll see how far that goes. So like I said, I have until Sunday. Sunday is the 7th day. Today is Saturday, so I have a whole nother day of stitching. And this is 28 count. I don't know if it's Ugana or even weave, but that I dyed myself. Yeah. So, and it's kind of a long piece because this is a long design. Like I said, I don't know off the top of my head what the stitch count is. I think it's 200 and something long, and I don't know how many wide. I have it somewhere. But anyway, so like I said, one more day of that, and that's my number 13 stitching. And the other number 13, the secondary chart for 13, I talked about before, is Prairie Schooler, Starry Night, and this is the one I'm starting over again. I'm not redoing this one yet. I have that almost finished from previous time, and I was unhappy with the fabric that I chose. So I'm going to do another chart, probably, I don't know which one necessarily. Let me see, hold on a second, which one I thought I would start with. Yeah, this one with the cow and the donkey and the baby in the manger. I think I might do that one next. Or the other one I was thinking of is this one here with the sheep. I don't know. One of those. But so that's my, whichever one I start with is my secondary chart for this number. And I like I said, I don't think I'll redo the first one yet, but that's in the future. So for June, Jessie Marie pulled the numbers for June, and they are number 2 and number 25. So number 2, I had done for winter cross stitch camp, which was in February. I had done the Mouse's Christmas decorating by Tiny Modernist, and excuse me, and I finished it in the month of February, but it was supposed to be my secondary chart for February. I mean, for number 2, excuse me, for number 2. But I already finished it. So I don't have a secondary chart for number 2. And it's okay because I have a lot of stitching that I'm going to do in June because cross stitch camp is June, July, and August. And so I'm probably going to participate. I anticipate participating in that. So that's going to impact my June stitching somewhat. But my number 2 chart for WIPGO is, I put both of these in there. These are both by Tiny Modernist, and I have this one upside down. Mouse's Beach Outing and Mouse's Lucky Day. So, yeah, so like I said, I did Mouse's Christmas decorating, and I have these two as my number 2 pair of charts. So because I have them both on there, they're actually pretty far along. So this is Mouse's Lucky Day. So this is the mouse in her dress, and this is like her little apron goes there, and just has some good luck symbols. There's a 4-leaf clover and a horseshoe. Yeah, so there's a pot of gold, and this pot with the 4-leaf clovers, and there's a hat, a leprechaun hat. And so, like I said, I have one of this 4-leaf clover and this horseshoe and part of the mouse's outfit there. So that's one of the mouse charts. And the other one is this Mouse's Beach Outing, right? So I started with this little beach hut, and then the part of the mouse's outfit. So that's this here. And this is fabric also that I dyed myself. 28 count Lugana probably. Yeah, I think they're both 28 count. I don't know. So this one is a little, you know, after I chose it, I thought it's a little, you know, it's not like sunny or sandy like the beach or whatever, but I think the colors actually pop very well on there. So yeah, so I'm hoping that for the month of June I can maybe my goal for these is 7 days, but I'm hoping that maybe since they're pretty far along and these are pretty small charts, I think they're 59 by 59. That I can finish them in the month of June. So anyway, that's one of my June stitching WIPGO pulls, and the other one is number 25. Let's see, number 25 is the main one is the Reindeer, which is one of the Year in the Woods Cottage Garden Samplings Year in the Woods charts. The Reindeer. This is number 12, the December chart. And last time I worked on it, I don't know, it was last year's WIPGO or something. But so all I really did was one of the colors of the, oops, this is upside down. One of the colors of the antler, the reindeer's antlers. Yeah, so I think I spent a lot of time, you know, finishing the border until I could get here, and I didn't. Yeah, I should have. You know, it would be nice to have done more of the border, but I just had to have the corner so that I could, you know, start on the antler. So there's, you know, you can see the deer's face here. There's his eye, nose, and mouth and ear there. So, yeah, you can see right here, the eye, nose, and mouth, and part of the ear, that little outside of the ear. And that's that dark color. So, I'm hoping to get more of the actual deer done. Maybe more of the antlers, and this little cabin would be nice to get done, but we'll see. So that's my number 25. And the secondary chart that I'm using for 25, let me pull this up a little bit, is Spring Hare Etching. I did the Winter Cardinal Etching, I want to say, was that April? February. Winter Cardinal Etching was February. So I was gonna make a photocopy of like a working copy of this chart. These cheapy, inexpensive little paper, like, what do you call it? Tabs, you know, fake Post-it notes. Anyway, this is they don't stick very well. This is Spring Hare Etching. Oops, sorry, that's the chart. Sorry. I didn't want to show the chart. Here. Spring Hare Etching by Cecelia Turner of Heart and Hand. So she did this series of charts for, sorry, my hand is crampy. This series of charts for Punch Needle and Primer Stitcher magazine, and this was the spring 2020 issue. So I think they were all in the 2020 issues. And I have stitched the Autumn Owl etching and the Summer Catch etching. The Autumn Owl one I did for Rachel, I think, and for my dad I did the Summer Catch etching, and then in February I did the Winter Cardinal. And this one is coming up, the Spring Hare. And they're actually fairly small. I think they're, yeah, 50 by 50. And only calls for a couple of colors, 2 colors, Sticks and Twigs and Tennessee Red Clay. So I'm hoping to get that done as well. The cardinal is almost done. All that's left is like half of the little trees behind it. The cardinal itself is done, and I did like maybe half of the trees in there. So I'm hoping that the spring Hare etching will go as fast. I have to find, I want a similar fabric to what I used for the winter cardinal. So I have to look and double check that. I don't have it. I don't have it handy. It's in a project bag here. I don't want to take it out. So that brings me to cross stitch camp. This year, Sherry Truax Berger is the person who does cross stitch camp. And for those of you who might not be familiar with it, excuse me, it is a virtual stitching camp, just for fun. It's, you know, like summer camp. And Sherry does like a little camp badge for each year. So she has them, I guess she has them on her, I don't know if it's on her website or whatever, but she has the little, you know, free little cross stitch camp patches. She has them actually, you know, finished and like on a project bag, you know, just stick on there, sewn on there, whatever, on this project bag she has. But anyway, so every year for June, July, and August, there are challenges every month, and one of the challenges is to finish the chart that you start. Don't start it until the first of the month, and you finish it by the end of the month if you can. And then whatever the other challenge she gives for each one. So for this year, what she's challenging us to do is to work with different colors. And so for the month of June, the idea is to take a single color chart and add in one pop of color for something. So what I'm thinking of doing, what I'm planning on doing, is this chart here, Antique Bunnies and Baskets by Shakespeare's Peddler. So it's all in one color. In this case, Hazelnut Dark Silk by Gloriana. And so it's all in just this one color. And it's 80 by 90, I think. Yeah, the stitch count on this. But so what I was thinking of doing is, you know, putting one pop of color, making all these bunnies some color, like blue or red or white or whatever. And so the baskets and stuff could be, if not that Gloriana color, some other color, whatever, but, you know, all in one color, and then just the bunnies, or maybe even just one or two of the bunnies, be a different color, a pop of color in there. Or you can, if you want to do the challenge in reverse, basically take a multicolored chart and do it all in one color. So you could take a regular chart that is several colors and do it all in one color if you want. So, you know, that's the variation you could do for the month of June, one of those. And so I think I'm probably going to do that. I have another chart just like this called Antique Cats and Crowns. And there's several charts back here, but Cats and Crowns is not among these. But I know I have it because I had written down it's done in, if I can say the word right, Jacondor, I don't know what, something with a J. It's also a Gloriana silk. I think I looked for it once at the attic, and I don't know if they were out of it or whatever. And so I haven't, bothered to look for it again. But I know I have the chart because, like I said, I got the color on it, but I don't know where the chart is. I was looking for it the other night, and I was like, it wasn't where I thought it was or whatever. So anyway, but yeah, so I was trying to do, I thought, well, I can do the bunnies, I can do, but then, so then for July, the challenge is to change at least 2 colors for whatever chart you choose to do. And so I was thinking of this one, which is a little freebie called 7 Pines. It's a little faint there. But so there's a snowman and 7 pines. And there's a little border done in the snow color. And then up here, I don't know if that's, I think it's supposed to be like the top of this tree here. And then there, and so the only problem with, the only thing I had with this chart is that it lists the symbols and the color name of the DMC. It's all the DMC threads, but it doesn't have the number of the DMC, so I had to look it up and, find the number that goes with the color name. So if I choose this for July, I do believe I will probably change this, it's shell pink is the color that's listed, and maybe a color in the snowman, I don't know, or I might change the color of whatever shade of green, for the pine trees, and it lists ecru in here as the snow color. And I would, if I changed it, if I, did this chart, if I changed it, I would change it to B5200, for instance. Something like that. So this is a possibility. This is also a small chart. I think the stitch count is, I don't know what, 41 by 47. And I want to keep them small because I'm doing them in addition to WIPGO and plus I want to be able to finish them within the month. So for the month of August, it's the challenge is always stitch something new to you. So new thread, a new pattern, designer, a new thread, or some other aspect like that. So I talked about this not too long ago. This is by Romy's Creations. This is Foxy the Imposter. So there's a fox masquerading as a chicken, has a couple of feathers stuck in his tail, and he's wearing a little fake coxcomb kind of thing on his head, and he's trying to pass himself off as a chicken, and this little chicken is looking at him with kind of a mad face. So I thought this was very fun, and I bought it at the attic a few weeks ago. But so I might do this one, because this is something new to me. I have one other Romy's Creations chart, but I've never done anything by this designer. So I might go ahead and do, I don't think I have. I might go ahead and do this chart. It's getting harder and harder to, when, for the do something new to you, because I've done several of the, of the designers. So I have to find some something. And I have one or two other, you know, designers that that I could do. Like, for instance, one of the other charts I'm considering or have considered for the Do Something New to You is this Dumbo chart, which is very, very cute. It's the design size it has listed here as 3.5 inches by basically 6 inches. So that's not real huge, and they're I don't know if it has the stitch count listed here. Let me see. It's about 90 by 60, and that's counting all this, you know, unstitched space. So, you know, and this is by I bought it off of Etsy. 50 by 87 is a stitch count, and it's from Let's Make Crafts is the designer on there. But I just thought it's so adorable. So that's also a possibility for the August one. And another possibility for the August chart is also from Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. My hands are very crampy today. This is Carrots Away. There's a little bunny in a carrot mobile, and he's dropping carrots on unsuspecting people. But it's very cute also. It's just adorable. And this is also a new designer for me. Whitley Quimby of Sugar Maple Designs. And this is 89 by 57, this design. So that's another possibility. The thing is I have too many possibilities for all these designers. Anyway, so I kind of am leaning toward the Romy's Creations Foxy the Imposter design. I don't know. But for all of these new designs, I would have to find fabric, and I have some fabrics are already ready, and others I want to do some fabric dyeing anyway. So yeah. So the other day when I was doing my we were at Hobby Lobby again for some reason, and I don't remember what we were there for. I know Eve needed to get some threads, and I think I was just there just because. And you know, again, that's a very dangerous time to go. But so I went ahead and bought some more. This is more Bristol linen 46 count that I bought. And again, this is ivory. And then I went ahead and bought this 28 count, I think it's just even weave. Let me see if I can see what it says. Yeah, 28 count even weave. And it's, again, just white. So I keep threatening to dye fabric, but I just keep putting it off. I'm not doing it. But anyway, so that will help me decide on all these new charts that I plan to do for June. So yeah, that'll help me choose some fabrics and what colors to dye it and all that kind of thing. But so anyway, that's what I have coming up. So I have a few more days in the month of May to work on things like Starry Night, which is one of my secondary charts for May, and to do some more work on Sunday. And tomorrow I'll be working on more on Come Thou Fount, because will be the 7th day for that chart. And then Maybe the bunny in my garden, I can finish that because I have Monday through, when is, I think Thursday maybe, or Thursday or Friday. Let me look at May real quick. I have until Friday. Friday's the 31st. So I have, yeah, basically 5 days after Sunday. So the world's my oyster. But I have to also prepare all these charts for June. And also the hashtags for Cross Stitch Camp is hashtag Cross Stitch Camp 2024, all one word. And that's 3 S's in the middle there, Cross Stitch. Cross Stitch Camp 2024 is one of the hashtags. And the other hashtag is hashtag Colorado Cross Stitcher. And those are both, if you're going to participate in Cross Stitch Camp, you post on the 1st a picture of the chart and the threads of whatever you're going to do on the 1st day of the month to basically show that you're not starting it before the 1st. And then if you want to do progress throughout the month, whatever, but by the end of the month or whenever you finish the chart, you can post the picture of that. But the where her channel of record, if you will, is Instagram, but with those hashtags. That way, that enables her to be able to see your post. So, I mean, you can post it on Facebook or wherever you want, but Instagram is where her official look at your chart is. So that's, and I'll put those links below. Cross Stitch Camp 2024 and Colorado Cross Stitcher. And it's Sherry Truax Burger. So if you want to look, like I said, I think the one that aired most recently, her Flosstube that aired most recently, you can look under Colorado Cross Stitcher, and I think in the title it says something about Cross Stitch Camp. So that'll, if you want to participate in it for the first time, that's there. So that is this is a longer video than I've made for a while, but so that should be everything for this upcoming, for the month of June and the last week of May. And for those of you who in the States, if you're watching, Monday is Memorial Day, and so my sisters and I did our video earlier this morning, and people were asking Naomi, I guess at work, asking her what, if she's doing anything for Memorial Day, and we were joking about how my mother used to say, I plan to be flat on my back. Yeah, the fine art of not having any obligations and not having to do anything on a holiday. So so anyway, yeah. So have a nice holiday in whatever fashion you celebrate, either by doing all the things or doing nothing on Memorial Day. And yeah, so thank you for watching, and have a good Memorial Day weekend, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.